Do you know that Senator Nancy Schaefer from Georgia fought at the time for parents' rights and she wanted changes in the Child Protective Services?
Oh, really?
We are here talking about issues that deal with the Child Protective Services abuse and among many other problems.
Well, you know that my husband was robbed by officials after my husband had passed away.
I understand, but we also need to address the fact that the Child Protective Services has done a lot of damages to some parents by stealing children from the backs of poor women.
I understand, but we need to also address the abuses of what is going on with the hometown events that has happened.
I understand. The dirty lawyer who we both had issues with me and my family and that I was going to move in with him and my children, but that dirty lawyer who we both knew had blocked me and my children from moving in with that rich man who I knew, and he sent a dirty cop to beat me up and had my children removed in order for that rich man to forget about me. He had plans to go after that rich man I knew and to steal his money.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The dirty lawyer and the dirty judge had conspired against me and my family, and they did not want me to move in with that rich man I knew. They had plotted to steal my children among others, and dirty chief of police and DA and friends of the police and a dirty cop who beat me up and a dirty real estate agency and others as well, and it was money laundering, fraud, extortion, jump-up charges, and I believe murder could have played the part because of greed.
Remember that he went to his vacation home and he went with this strange man and he had a heart attack and passed away. And he normally never takes a man to his vacation home, and his cause of death could have been he was poisoned or frightened to death. I don't think it was just a normal heart attack at the time. Remember, possibility they were after his money?
It's possible because of them wanting his money, and it was done like an inside job.
We have been swindled by the same dirty lawyer and among others, you see.
Senator Nancy Schaefer home was sold in an auction blocked by Georgia's officials and the public administrator's office. Remember, they had claims and the officials' excuses were that her and her husband had no money.
It could be very well. Also, the dirty lawyer who we had both a problem with in the past had gone to my husband and close friend who was very rich at the time. He had gone to her nursing home to pay a visit to her, and he had demanded from her that she remove my husband from the will at the time. She was all disturbed by what just took place, and she had died shortly after that. My husband was the executor at the time, even thought the dirty lawyer did not want him to be the executor at the time.
That must have been quite some trauma?
Yes, it was. That dear friend of my husband who was greatly fond of him because he had taken care of her when she was alive. She had owned 2 pieces of property and one property where me and my husband had lived at the time. My husband was supposed to get 90% of the both properties for one of his, and it never happened. And the dear friend, she had an account with a bank, and that dirty lawyer had a meeting with the father-in-law, and that lawyer had helped him with the power of attorney, and I believe even though my husband revoked the power of attorney, that lawyer had something to do with the missing money in the banks from his dear friend and the aunt after my husband had passed away.
Oh, really?
A person that knew the dirty judge that you had problems with was associated with that dirty lawyer. You see, they wanted you out of the way, so the dirty lawyer could steal the money along with others. That rich man had gone with a man to the vacation house, and that rich man normally does not take any man to his vacation home. That rich man passed away from a heart attack. He could have been poisoned or frightened to death. That dirty lawyer and his dirty real estate friends had taken that rich man's money and took his property deed, transfer his properties to another fictitious name with the same realtors, and the high school was also involved by disconcerting the rich man's will and using his money for their own interest and gain by these dirt officials.
Senator Nancy Schaefer wanted to stop the abuses Child Protective Services officials from stealing children.